Hi, welcome to the Wired
and Rewired podcast all about the hit HBO series, The Wire.
I'm Chris, and this is my 1000th time watching The Wire.
And this is Ellie. It's my first.
If you're new to the Force or a longtime veteran, we think you'll find something here to enjoy. Today, we cover Season 2, Episode 8, Duck and Cover. And as usual, we start by popping a recap. McNulty is back to his old self on a drunken binge of legendary proportions. Urged by fellow stevedores to fight Maui, Ziggy is again humiliated, but has a moment later at the bar. Worried about McNulty, Bunk tries to get Daniels and Rawls to take him on. After some labor, the wiretap is up just in time to catch another disappearing can. A suspicious Sabatka meets with the Greek and Vondas, and they decide to change up. Herc and Carver register their imaginary CI, and with the package still weak, business dries up for Bodhi and Poot. The episode was written by George Pelicanos. This is his second episode writing, and it was directed by Dan Attias. It premiered on July 20th, 2003. All right. Well, Ellie?
It's a good recap.
Yeah. Okay. Well, why don't you kick it off by giving us the epigraph?
How come they don't fly away? Said by Ziggy.
Yep. Yeah, that's a very telling question.
It is,
yeah,
yes.
And I think that... All right, I'm just going to start talking.
Sure, go for it.
But, I just remember this. Like, I don't think that the epigraphs are really hitting me when I first watched it.
Okay.
So it's just interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you're not paying attention, you're like, oh, what's this?
Yes. This one definitely has a pretty clear meaning.
Yep.
Okay.
It. All right. Well, so before we get started, let us talk about your predictions from the last episode.
Well, okay.
I think you're on it. Actually, wait, no, I take it. Hang on, let me see.
I don't know.
You had a couple of no bets.
Okay.
And then you had one that was wrong and two that were right.
Okay.
Is what I've got here.
All right.
So McNulty's not going to pursue anymore. Elena. So
yes.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
I'm giving you a correct. But you also said he's not going to change his ways, which you were definitely correct.
Yes,
on that.
definitely correct.
Avon and Stringer are going to have to do something about these drugs now. So I call that a no bet because Stringer and Avon aren't even in the episode.
Right, they aren't.
So, but on the other hand, the story of Bodhi and Poot,
you
can see how that plays out. So I'll give you partial credit on that. Because you said your focus was on Stringer and you had every reason to expect Stringer to be in the episode. So that's why I feel like you're really shooting in the dark. And so you had a follow up on the CI, which I wrote. I think that was just was the Fuzzy Dunlop thing. So, of course, that came out.
Yes.
Nice job there. Nat and Frank. Nat wasn't in the episode either.
No.
So, nothing there. Though, the Frank development, obviously, I think you were on the right track there.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to give you again partial credit. And following the can, you said nothing will happen following the can. So, that one was the one that you were off on. So, the unit obviously made it quite a lot of progress.
Right.
So, okay. That's it. So still, really, I think you're well above 500. And I think that there's something to be said for your history of taking big swings and hitting home runs. Okay. Enough about that. Any questions you have before we get started?
No questions for me.
Okay. Well, let's get going.
Okay. Well, the three threads I'm going to follow. First, we'll start out with Bodhi and Poot and what they go through. We'll talk about Ziggy, and then everything else at this point is so woven together, there's no separating it out. So we'll have to just do the rest of it as one big chunk.
Okay. So now I have to ask.
Yeah.
Do you have any titles for these, or?
I didn't come up. I feel so bad. I did not come up with titles.
No,
this
that's okay.
time.
I'm just going to come up with one on the fly. The Ziggy one, we got to call it "What the Duck."
Okay, what the duck. That's great.
Let's see. Bodhi and Poop would be it's got to be something to do with real estate. What is it like when you buy you squatter. Squatter's rights. There you go.
Squatter's rights.
Yep,
Very good.
And then the other one's too big.
It's just too big. It's so unwieldy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, we talked about this before, but again, and even with Frank.
Yes.
Yeah, Frank now getting woven into that. Now it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
Everything's coming together. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's really awesome to see.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, okay, we'll start with Bodhi and Poot
Oh, I
now.
like that. Booty and Pope.
Booty and Pope.
What was the other one? Bunky and...
I did.
Yeah.
I did Buddy and
Buddy
Bink.
and Bink. Yeah, I like that. We're gonna have to come
I
up with all
know.
these.
I liked that one too, actually.
Yeah.
That just sounds like a great pair.
Absolutely.
Okay, so those two are talking about how empty the projects are, and it's not because the fiends have cleaned up, it's because the drugs suck. And they say they don't even have real cops bugging them, just the housing authority police. You know, housing authorities like, keep moving. They're like, what? You know, and their reaction is pretty fun.
Yeah.
Especially Bodhi, who's quite worked up about the whole thing. Bodhi and Poot are looking at some new guys in their territory, and those guys are serving their customers. And they say it might be CBS Boys or Tavon's crew, something like that. And Bodhi's not going to stand for this and kind of develops a plan himself. He does have a couple guys who are normally selling for him, kind of the position he used to have, that Wallace used to have, and he tells him he's going to have to let them go. And they're like, how about a little separation pay?
Yeah.
You know, they want a little bit of severance, which is hilarious to me. Anyway, that night, Bodhi is watching the guys that he is targeting. And he sees the two guys that he actually let go of. Interacting with them. So the two guys that he couldn't pay anymore are now working with this other crew. And, you know, he gets his crew together. He's like, oh, we got to be there, 7 a.m. So that's really early. And they're like, well, there's going to be bats. Oh, well, you did say there was going to be bats. So the next morning, Bodhi, Poot, and the other guys are waiting on that corner. And they've got bats and strong guys. And so they end up scaring the other guys off, basically.
Yeah.
They back off anyhow, but Bodhi does know that they'll be back.
Yep.
So.
They come.
What this think they looking at?
Nigga, you done lost your motherfucking mind. You standing on my real estate.
Mine now. Took it while you was resting. Y'all too late.
Look, I'm gonna let you walk off right now. We could do it the other way.
You got to do it the other way. Them?
You gonna see me in your sleep.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's right. Keep walking, bitch.
They gonna come back. Yeah, way we just punked them, you got to.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, you covered the whole thing quite quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that. Sorry, just to add a little color. So Tavon's crew from Edmonton, I actually looked up what I thought was Edmonton.
Yeah.
It's like 3 miles. So when Poot says this far over,
Okay.
it was 3 miles further east from where Edmonton
Isn't that
is.
where Omar and Bunk are from?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very good.
Hey,
Good call. Good
thank
pull.
you
Good
very
pull there,
much.
detective. Nice job. Yeah, and then the boating letting his crew go. And again, that separation bay, that line, so good.
So
yeah.
good.
And he's like says under his breath, "I'll separate your ass." Yeah, which is just hilarious.
Oh my god!
And then,
was this the one where Bodhi or like Poot's got like he tells Poot that he's just like too crazy about women?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
so
the
fun.
next when he's getting the
Okay.
guys with the bats together.
Okay, yes,
He-
yes.
He's trying to get everybody like to riled up and ready.
Yes.
And Poot's like staring at these two women.
Yes.
Like, hey Poot, how's it going?
Hey,
Yeah,
Poot.
yeah. So that was pretty good.
Oh god.
And so, yeah, again, another great line. Don't make your everything. And then, and then you caught the other drug dealer. So, I mean, I guess I'm trying to think of a question for you. I don't know. I guess it's all pretty straightforward, but I'm trying to think of what there is. You think, is there anything he could have done besides going after the same real estate?
I don't know. I was thinking about that, and he does not contact Stringer or anything that that we know of. He
Yeah.
doesn't contact anybody higher up to
Yeah.
act. He like leads pretty much on his own in this whole episode, and I don't know that there's anything else that he could have done.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a good question. How do you mention?
Given but the thing is, how are they going to maintain?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the point? Even they
Yeah.
don't have the drugs.
Yeah.
It's just going to happen over and over again.
Well, they do. They just they don't have. They have they have drugs. They just don't.
They don't have
the
good
quality's
drugs.
bad.
Yeah,
so he just
exactly.
basically is sitting on
Yeah.
with weaker product. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know exactly as well, but yeah, I think you're right. Like I think the other question is, so the customers that are being taken, essentially. The guys he says they're serving our customers.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to figure out is why they, like, what emboldened those people, the other drug dealer, the rival drug dealers, to move into that territory.
Right.
I guess it's just, I think it must be because if you're not making money, or you're not making as much money, or you have to let your crew go, and by having fewer people, effectively, you don't have essentially anybody to fight people off. So
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't really think about that much prior. Just kind of watched the story kind of unfold, and I was like, I wonder how you did it. So anyway, okay. Well, that pretty much wraps up the death grip story, the squatters' rights story. So.
Squatters' rights.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now on to Ziggy and the duck. So Lala and Horse are trying to convince Ziggy to take on Maui, and this is supposed to be to get back retribution for what Maui did, the joke he played on him about his baby mama, the paternity suit. And, they tell him, just give him your best punch and walk away. And Ziggy's just like, I don't know. But they keep egging him on and egging him on, and it's cruel, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and then Maui orders a frappuccino, and Ziggy insults him, and they egg him on some more, and then Zig comes running up and tries to lay a couple body rips into him, and Maui barely flinches and puts him on top of a shipping container stack and leaves him there. He's just like, you stay there. And the other guys are just laughing their asses off. And Ziggy just says, you motherfuckers gave me bad advice.
Yeah.
Which is such a weird line, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's you gave me bad advice. Like, that's what he's worked up about.
Yeah.
So it's a pathetic moment of many pathetic moments for him. But he's like the butt of every joke.
Yeah.
If he's not making himself the butt of every joke, he's being made the butt of every joke.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys gave me bad advice. Like, he's getting mad about his own choice. Though, right?
Exactly.
Thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, how could you be so dumb to fall for that advice? But, Ziggy is, I don't know. He's a masochist, and he's a narcissist, and he's got work to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I'm guessing he probably thought that his punch would do more damage than it did.
Yeah.
But it's
Well, why would he even try to just body he goes straight into the man's trunk, like the most solid part of him, instead of going at his face or anything like that. It's just it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a good question, right? I mean, I think
for somebody that small. I mean, I'm just saying, as somebody who does taekwondo and spars and is smaller, I would never come right at somebody's trunk, their core, and think that I could do something.
Isn't I thought the kidney area, isn't that
okay? Well, maybe is that what you think he's trying to do?
That's what I think he hit. That's
maybe.
what he's going for.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it doesn't make it smart, but that's is that maybe his best choice? If you're going to hit somebody in the back, that's the most exposed area is the side, right? I would think
true.
so.
That's true.
But but of course it's idiotic. It's you think, he's built kind of solid.
It's just a little annoying fly.
It's so funny, yeah. And then just the way that Maui just holds him, and he's trying to push him, and he just holds him in this grip, and you could just tell that Maui's just
it's just not going well. Yes.
And he's just now I got to throw this idiot up on.
Yeah, it's like the cartoon where they're holding them by their head at arm's length, and they can't lay a punch on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Zig is next meeting up with some kind of a family friend. This guy deals in domesticated birds. Apparently, you see pigeons, you see ducks, all sorts of things. This guy knew his Peepop. And, he is encouraged to take a pigeon, but he wants a duck instead. It's a pretty little duck. And this is where we get the epigraph, the why don't they fly away?
Yep.
And he says, their wings are clipped. They can't. So, yes.
Yes.
I don't know what brought him there in the first place. I have no idea, but I guess it's probably some ultimate plan that he has later when we get to the bar.
Okay.
So Nick and Zig meet up. They're in Nick's car. Nick gives Ziggy a cut of the heroin money, and Zig notices the new car, and Nick says, I heard you took on Maui. says Spiros has called him and Ziggy wants to meet Spiros. And Nick's like, no, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Anyways, Ziggy, he leaves the money like on the center console, I think, and then tells Ziggy to pick up the money. And then Ziggy throws the money out of the car. It's just... he's just incorrigible. It just gets on my nerves so much. He's just like the kind of person you just can't control.
Yeah.
You just can't. So.
Yeah.
And it's still another moment where he's just so jealous that Nick can do this job better than him. And he's already low because he's been made a fool of, right? So, yeah.
Well, let's keep going because I want to come back to that.
Okay.
But let's get to the last of it.
We shall. So Nick comes into Dolores's bar. He pretends he's blind, and he is walking a duck with a diamond collar. And he says it's his lawyer and asks for drinks for him and his companion. And he makes some jokes about having sex with farm animals. Everybody loves it, and everybody ends up buying one for the duck. Yep. They love it.
Yeah.
They think it's hilarious. They love him.
Yeah.
So at least for what he can bring in those moments, the levity.
Yep. So, okay. So now with that, so the first question is like, what do you think that what is he gaining out of that?
I think he's just like, if I'm going to be the butt of the joke, I'll do it on my own terms.
Yep.
You know? Yeah, that's what I think. What do you think?
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah. I mean, they're going to make fun of me anyway, so I might as well just own it. And so let me pause and say that this is actually based off of a true story.
Okay.
There was a guy, hang on a second, what's his name? Walt Benowitz.
Oh my God.
He was an oddball, but he was related to the head of the union, and he had a duck with a diamond collar, and it would feed it vodka.
Oh my God.
And so it is based off that. But I think in that same way, it's like, Ziggy is not an oddball in that way.
Right.
I think he's trying. So, and the reason why I asked and wanted to hold off on the conversation about the money is that he doesn't want to be a passenger, right? He wants agency.
Right.
And so even though taking the money would be the wise path, it also means that he doesn't own his sort of his decisions.
It's not just about the money for him.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think there's a really important component of that too, just that I think that is everybody wants to feel like they are in control, at least to some degree.
Yes.
Right? I go to work and I choose to go to work because whatever, most of us have to work for a boss, and so you do essentially what they say, but you're still kind of like, I get to control this like area of my responsibility or whatever. So, and I think for him, it's like, if I'm just taking handouts, it's just not fulfilling, even though that is satisfying a very critical need for him.
Yes.
So, so anyway.
And so he's reaching out, like the way he's taking control is by, in this case, making himself, he's by denigrating himself.
Yeah.
Right. And I just, that's, it's just a recipe for disaster because you can only do that so much before you just break yourself as a person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
so
there's it's a good, interesting point. I mean, and you have that little, button on that scene of what's with the duck from his dad.
Yeah.
And Nick just says Ziggy, and that's it. That's the end of it. And everybody's laughing.
Yep.
And I'm just like, dude, Frank, talk to your son.
I know.
Because I mean, exactly what you said. Like, it's one thing to be the butt of the joke and to kind of lean into it a little bit.
Right.
But if you do it for too long, then people just think that you're a punching bag.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. That wasn't a life lesson that I written down, but that is
it's a good one.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good one for sure.
Well, anyway, so that wraps up the Duck and Ziggy story.
Okay.
So, right, I think.
It does.
Okay. All right,
it does. All right. Well, let's move on to the rest of it then. We start out actually with McNulty being just hella drunk in this kind of swanky bar. And he calls Elena, who doesn't answer. And he stumbles back up to the bar. He asks for one more. The guy at the bartender's like, "You're not driving, are you?" He says, "I just called a cab." Yeah. Sure enough, he gets in his car. He goes too wide on a turn, smashes his car, and he says, "Bite me."
Yeah.
Tries to estimate the curve once again, backs up, tries over, and hits it again. His hand is super cut up. Next we see of him, he's in a diner trying to sober up, And then a pretty waitress comes up and he says, you know, he kind of acts a little bit more sober in the moment. He'll get, you know, I'm going to have some eggs and scrapple, whatever scrapple is. Sounds good, actually.
Shoot. I used to know it off the
Is
top
it like
of
a
my head.
hash?
No, it is, but it's like the kind of the leftovers of the pig.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
like the stuff that it doesn't go into bacon or ham,
sausage or anything.
It's like
okay.
all the other stuff.
Wow. And she says, you can get anything you want. And then they're doing it. And in her bed, his head's like all jammed between the bars of the bed and hitting the wall. It looks just so uncomfortable. It really does not look like a pleasant experience to me. Anyways, he does wake up there the next morning.
Yeah.
So good on you, McNulty. All right. Winning.
Yeah.
Winning.
Well, so let me ask you, what do you think do you think that the car crash, I figured there was a metaphor in there.
Uh-huh.
What do you think?
Well, I guess he's, what is it, like the saying, like, you know, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it or whatever. It's like he hasn't changed anything. He's not sobered up, but he's trying to do the same thing again without having changed anything about himself or the circumstances. So it's, you know, like it's ridiculous that you would expect it, I think, to be different.
Right. Yeah.
I guess that would be the metaphor for me.
Yeah, I think that's so. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if like. So the first thing was when I first saw it, I thought he was actually suicidal, or he was so mad he just wanted to completely destroy his car.
Okay.
And so I thought he was like aiming for the pillar
the
second time. But no, I think you're right. Like I think he was trying to see if he could just do it again,
right,
and this time make the turn.
Yeah. But it's like a metaphor for his life.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's trying over again with his wife. And he's not really changed anything. So the same thing happened again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting. Okay. Yeah. That's that. I think that's right. So anyway, and then I wanted to ask, and I apologize for this being a little crass, but is working, you figure working the graveyard shift, if you go into a diner during the graveyard shift, you have a pretty good chance of scoring, or is that just
I don't know. I was just watching another show too, and there is like in there they were making a joke about the waitresses that were there late at night and how they were not pretty, but they were also not pretty. So, you know, like, what did that mean? Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't spend a lot of time in diners.
Fair enough. Well, you know, and I was I was like, and I know McNulty's a good looking guy, but what the hell, lady? Like, you're just like waiting for an attractive guy to come in. So you can, but then I said, you know what? On the other hand, it looked like she was like taking care of herself. Yeah. And I was like, hey, good for her.
Yeah.
Good
and
for her.
maybe usually it's just like a bunch of old overweight truck drivers.
Right. Yeah, that's true, actually. That's true. Good point. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's run away from that topic as fast as possible, if you don't mind.
Running. Okay. So now Daniels brings all of us up to speed, letting everyone know that he's taken on the 14 homicides. Freeman shares the DNR log, which shows outgoing numbers to people who are known drug dealers. They also have photos to confirm these guys are selling drugs, at least in the case of White Mike. They've got Sergey calling from the docks too, and a connection to when the ships on the telco line disappear. And they've got Nick Sabaka, whose number connects to Sergey's phone as well, and they know that Nick is Frank's nephew. So based on all of that, Perlman says they've got probable cause. Mm-hmm. And they can't get inside the warehouse yet, but Perlman says she's going to contact the judge. So it's looking good for them.
Yep.
Yeah. I had to listen to that whole thing a couple times.
I was going to say.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information in that.
Yeah.
And
it's a big
and
download.
Following it.
Yeah.
Definitely worth listening to a couple times.
Yeah.
Just to kind of make sure you're figuring out like how they're determining whether they have probable cause.
Yes. I kind of feel like they do this maybe once a season or something, because I feel like it was the same thing last time too, where we were, you know, all up in the microfiche and stuff. I had to watch that a few times to just kind of understand the path of evidence.
Yeah, I mean, just to go back, like, so the trailing of the can to the warehouse.
Yeah,
that's how they justify that tap, and then they want the truck driver, right? So it's just, even though like, I think you understand where they're getting the taps from.
Right.
Just understanding all those connections, I think it just really shows, you know, just how hard it is to listen into somebody's phone.
Yes.
But also that they've done all this due diligence and they're all
Yes.
prepared for it. And, again, I just like how, in this case, Rhonda knows the law,
Right.
but they have to prove to her that they've done the work. So, and that way
Exactly.
we're able to understand what's going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Bunk is now, since since Daniels has taken on the 14 homicides, Bunk is working
Yep.
with them
Yep.
at their location, and he comes rolling in sweats.
So good.
Freeman is like, "What the hell are you wearing?" And Herc points out that there's lacrosse on it. We know Bunk played lacrosse at Edmondson.
That's right. Very
Which is
good.
where
Yes,
Omar saw him
exactly.
back in the day. Anyways, he gets razzed about what he's wearing, but Bunk basically says, you put a guy out of nowhere, he can dress how he wants. And I love when he walks out with a little, you can kiss my ass with a little booty wiggle.
Yep.
Oh my God. It's just the best. Such an awesome moment.
Yeah.
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 It's fun. I love that Bunk is working there now.
Oh,
It
yeah.
Makes me so happy.
Oh, yeah. It's good stuff. And, and Freeman saying, you're putting yourself beside Jim Brown. God,
Yes, that's
so
right.
good. So
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
The hell you wearing?
No one mentioned all the perks.
Lacrosse?
What? A brother can't run with a stick? Jim Brown was All-American midfield at Syracuse.
You putting yourself beside Jim Brown?
I'm just saying.
I thought you were born in pinstripes.
Lieutenant, I was under the impression that when detailed against his will to some backwards ass, no count out in the districts, lost ball and tall grass drug investigation. A veteran police of means and talent can wear whatever the fuck he damn well pleases.
Up to a point. Nice shot.
Thank you. Well, it's a hell of a thing to take a downtown police and lose them in a crosstown world.
Take that one over there.
I'm homesick already. What you laughing at, Gordon? You can kiss my ass.
Yeah, that whole scene is just hilarious.
It is.
And I think I'll just mention, to say again, like, this season has so many, I think, really funny lines. Probably, it might be the funniest season
Yes.
of all of them.
And there's a lot of like just the group chuckling around the
Yeah.
table at somebody else.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and it's I like it.
Yep.
Okay, let's see here. Frank is looking for bills. It's the end of the month, and they are apparently hiding in nudie magazines as bookmarks. So no wonder. Horace wants to know if they've got anything for the Greeks. And Frank tells him yes, the Cassia over at Patapsco. And he says Nikki will get the slips tomorrow. And Horace says, what do I need to know? And, what Horace said that he needs to know is what Frank thinks of breast implants.
Yeah.
That's the important thing that he really wants to get some information on. Forget all the other details. We'll take care of it. That's just regular business.
Yeah.
But what do you think of breast implants?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't get an answer to that.
No, I like Frank's just kind of chuckle.
Yeah.
Because I feel like for him, he's kind of like the dad of the
is.
whole group. So,
He is,
Yeah.
even for somebody as old as Horace.
Yep. I'll answer the question,
Oh,
by the way.
what do you think?
The best boobs are the ones that women consent to share with us, with men. Speaking as a heterosexual man. So, fake,
Okay.
real,
Hey,
whatever, don't care.
that was a
do
right
you
answer.
do you, and, anyway, I'll leave it there. So,
I think
ladies,
that's the right answer.
just, do what you do.
Exactly. All right. Perlman is going through the paperwork, all the evidence for probable cause. I think she complains a little bit about their grammar and spelling. Everyone is gathered around. Carve is annoyingly turning in his chair, which Rhonda puts a stop to by just putting her hand on it, like really suddenly. I just love that. That's such a boss bitch move right there.
Yeah.
The duty judge, we find out, is Vanderwall, and they say, yeah, he'll sign it if you clean his garage or wash his windows. And Press is like, wash windows, and Bunk just says, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, is that based on a real person or something? Or I'm like, that is so random that I wondered if that one was based on something real.
God, that's a great question.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up. I'll have to ask my dad but it does bring up something I wanted to bring at the end about how the episode held up. So I will bring that up later.
Okay. So they're at Vanderwall's, and it's Kima and Freeman And then they're in the office, and then I think Carver and Herc pop in, and everyone, oh no, yeah, Freeman is there, swearing that the affidavit is true. And then, Herc and Carver are actually moving this AC unit upstairs, and then they are told to wash the windows after that.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
Manual labor to get what you need signed.
Yeah.
I guess you got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah, I mean, although it's funny because I was just re-listening to our episode on Game Day.
Yeah.
And how McNulty and Freeman just immediately handed off the surveillance of the Mondo Mart to
yes.
Carver and Sidnor.
Yes.
And you're like, why those two? And then, but it's clearly just low man on the totem pole.
Yep.
You just have to pay. This is like them paying their dues, basically.
Exactly.
Even though Carver is technically a sergeant and now ranks like most of the people. But
yes.
Anyway. Yeah. So poor Herc and Carver, but they're just hilarious. Basically this entire season.
Yes, they're so great. Let's see here. Horace is still looking at nudie mags, and let's see here. Frank's calling about the phone bill that he needs to pay, which is late, and then he finds out that his account's been flagged. Doo-doo-doo. They cannot disconnect this line for non-payment. And, most people don't look a gift horse in the mouth, especially not horse. Ha!
Yeah.
It's funny.
Hey,
but
nice.
Frank is a bit concerned about this. He just like, that doesn't, I don't pay my bill and they keep it going. What the heck? This doesn't make a lot of sense. So, all right. It's getting, things are heating up a little bit, and I think Frank is feeling it. Then we go to McNulty and Bunk, who are drinking by the tracks, and McNulty's being an asshole, and Bunk calls him on it. And he asks about the detail. McNulty does. He says he wishes he could be on it too. And then he gets pretty emotional. And he says something like, if I'm not good for this. And, it's kind of like he's saying, if I don't have my wife and my kids, and then I also don't have my work, then what am I even doing here? Yeah. So it's really, it's like a sad moment.
Absolutely,
I feel for him for sure, because he doesn't have anything in this moment that really means something to him.
Exactly.
He sort of made his own bed, but
sure.
Anyways, you can tell Bunk feels for him, and he jokes that McNulty should just ask Rawls, and then gives him an affectionate pat on the cheek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it does make me. I just realized though, why did they just fly away? Like, why is he feel tethered to the job? I mean, I'm not saying that it's not, it's hard to understand, but it is interesting how we kind of clip our own wings to some degree, right? And so he has clipped his wings effectively. Who knows what he could go do? Right.
He won't even think about it.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. And so I'm just kind of curious, because I mean, the hard part for him, of course, is that he's trapped in this situation, right? He, at least as far as he knows, like, he can't get out from under Rawls' thumb. So, yeah, I mean, he obviously makes a Hail Mary plea to Bunk, or Bunk takes pity on him. And then, so, which we'll get to in a minute.
We will.
But McNulty himself didn't have any agency there. So.
Nope. Frank is talking to his brother Lou, Nick's dad, and telling him about Valchek's van. Yep. And he tells him that he got him a position on the labor union board, which comes with a stipend. But Lou knows that the position didn't come, from a straight and narrow path, and he won't do it. He will not do what Frank does. He has a higher code, but he also tells Frank that he doesn't really blame him, and he says that he's glad that he doesn't have to make those kinds of choices. So it's kind of a thing where it's like, I wouldn't make those choices, but I'm glad I'm not forced into the position of making them either. So it's kind of like, it's not the right thing to do, but I a little bit understand it. So
that's not for me. What's for you? That shit wagon parked out front needs a battery? Or this kitchen here been rigged the same way for 25 years?
Whatever I got, come straight.
That's real noble, big brother.
Not noble, right.
The shipbuilders local goes belly up, and that makes you some kind of martyr? Hell, the only difference between me and you is you picked the wrong union.
That ain't the only difference.
If you were in my position...
I'm not.
And to tell you the truth, I'm glad I don't have to make those kind of choices. Come on, kid. Sit down.
Yeah, it's a really good scene, I think.
Yeah.
The two of them together, I feel like are, it's a very interesting dynamic because you have younger brother and older brother, which I think you kind of probably, so I'm reaching here, but Ziggy to Nick kind of thing, that same kind of thing. Although not it's obviously very different, but they're still kind of like this, trying to prove himself,
right?
And so and I think that the way that Lou handles it, you have this. He's basically saying, I'm sticking with my ethics.
Yes.
And even what was it last the district attorney to Rhonda? Oh, it was like when he gave back the money, he said something about Caesar. What was it? It was Caesar's wife and all that shit.
Yes,
and it was Caesar's wife has to be beyond reproach. Right?
Exactly.
And so for him, even though it sounds there's some plausible deniability that Frank just asked the guy to get Lou onto the board. Lou's like, no, if I'm going to get something, I want to apply myself, and I don't want to have any kind of, be anywhere close to that. And so it's just and so not only is he rebuffed there, but he's also shamed a little. He is shamed a little bit by his brother. Not intentionally, but
well, he gets defensive though.
Absolutely.
Like he raises his voice and then he kind of calms down again.
Yeah, I mean, but then he goes after Lou like personally, right?
Right, he does.
Or this kitchen or whatever.
Exactly.
And so that means it really struck a chord. So,
yeah,
it's overall really good scene though. I really like the way that the two actors play it, and so
Agreed.
and his like, come on, kids, sit down. That felt very Big Brotherly to me. So anyway,
okay. Well, Bunk and Freeman are trying to make the case to Daniels for Jimmy to join the detail, and they say Jimmy needs this. Please ask Rawls, and so we know he's going to.
Yeah,
Rawls hates his guts, with reasons.
But the thing of it is, Jimmy's dying inside. He's a train wreck unless he catches a real case.
But good police.
Always. The thing of it is, Lieutenant, that is, Jimmy McNulty, when he ain't policing, he's a picture postcard of a drunken, self-destructive fuck-up. And when he is policing, it's pretty much the same motherfucker, but on a good case. I mean, running in front of the pack. That's as close as the man comes to being right.
Go back to Rawls.
Moving on to Carver and Herc, and they are talking to Herc's cousin Bernard, aka Fuzzy Dunlop. We know why it's called that. And now I get it.
Yep.
I mean, now I fully get it. They are trying to get him to be the CI. They want to take all the money that they would have paid the CI, especially for Carver, who's missing out on a whole bunch of money from the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
But Bernard says, Fuzzy Dunlop says he wants 10%. And I think they end up settling with him on that. It's a funny exchange.
Yeah.
So I get paid.
Yeah, you get paid, but you don't get paid. We get paid.
Why don't they give you the money and leave me out of it?
Because we need someone to be confidential informant number 238, registered with the department. See, we get you registered, we get paid.
So you're gonna send my picture
And your social security number.
and they give me money, which you guys keep, and I don't get nothing.
Hey, cuz, did you do anything to deserve the money? Huh?
Did you?
Yeah, we cracked the fucking case wide open. We brought back very significant information about a major drug trafficker. That's what we did.
But that's your fucking job, right? You get paid a salary for that.
No, you're upsetting my partner, man. What are you doing?
10%. 10% goes to me, and I don't tell.
You don't tell because your ma and my ma are sisters. That's why you don't tell, Bernard.
We're not even going to use your real name. You're going to be registered as Fuzzy Dunlop, a street name.
Fuzzy Dunlop.
Yeah.
Right.
10%.
Wonderful. Now I'm in business with the whole fucking family.
Let's see here. Back at the detail, Nick and Sergey are on the phone. They're listening to them. And it's interesting. Prez points out that they're not as careful as Barksdale's crew.
Yeah.
And Freeman's like, this because they're not expecting to be caught or listened to or
Yep.
watched or whatever. Like this, they have this extra layer of ignorance because, they're like not the kind of lifetime or like legacy criminals that the Barksdale organization is, right? So, yeah. Shall I keep going?
Yeah, well, I mean,
It's a bit of everything
fine,
here.
but I love the Bernard Herc Carver scene. Just, again, so good, and
so
it's just hilarious.
Yes.
Like, he's like, his argument is airtight. That's your job, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to do this. Why are you getting extra money? And he's just, it's not like he's going to get Herc in trouble, but he's going to tell somebody, and then Herc's going to have to deal with that nonsense. So and it's like he gets $150, or they get $150, and it's so he gets $15 just for doing nothing. So
Exactly.
it's just hilarious. So
It is.
yeah, I really like that scene. But let me ask you this: why? I mean, apart from feeling sorry for McNulty,
Yeah.
I guess like now that you've seen sort of the entire case, or like how he's fitting into the group, like what do you think is, and set the brothel aside for the moment. We'll see how that goes. But like, what do you think like Daniel sees as his role, as McNulty's role in this? Like, why would he fight for McNulty to be on the detail?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I mean, there's the doggedness that McNulty has.
Yeah.
Like, he just, everybody knows it about it too. It's like what Santangelo said about him in the last season when, Rawls was trying to find shit on him, and he's just like, all he does is, cases. He wakes up, he does cases. He goes to bed, he does cases.
Yeah.
So I guess there's that, but I mean, I think he also knows he's just a really, really good detective.
Yeah, and that's actually no need to overthink. You're right.
But
That's
not
it.
only that, but they had that moment together when they went into Orlando's, and right, like that must have been
That's
like
true,
a very
too.
that's kind of a little trauma bonding,
Sure,
I think,
yeah.
too, where you have that kind of experience with somebody and you feel like they felt like it had to be each other that went and did that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a fondness for each other because of that. Definitely on Daniel's part for McNulty, that they're just appealing to that.
Yeah. No, and you're right. I mean, you got all those are correct.
Of
but
course they are.
But, yeah, I don't know why I was overthinking. No, there's got to be some bigger reason. No, he's just a good detective, and
He's
Daniels
just
knows
good.
it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and and his comment about they've got every swinging dick on that detail, which I don't know if I would refer to myself as a swinging dick,
Yes,
but
yes.
Anyway. So just kind of, but you're right. That's it. It's
And
just-
two women on it.
Right.
Who don't have anything to swing, but whatever.
Okay, well let's keep going.
Okay. So let me see here. Oh, God. Speaking of swinging, Daniels is now trying to convince Rawls to give him Jimmy. Rawls says, I could use 3 more inches of meat.
Yep.
Ain't going to happen. And Daniels reminds him that what I need from you, I get.
Yep.
And Rawls reluctantly agrees.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yes. Glad Rawls has to finally give in something.
Let me shorten this conversation for you. It's never going to happen.
McNulty goes after it. I could use someone like him.
And I could use 3 more inches of meat. It ain't going to happen.
You ever see how a dog gets when he smells a bone buried out in the yard?
Yeah. And I seen one take a shit on my carpet, too. And don't give me any of that, he's got that fire in the belly garbage either. The answer is no.
What I need from you, I get. No bullshit, no arguments.
What?
When I agreed to take these murders for you, I made my terms clear. Remember? I need McNulty on this detail.
Jesus, Lieutenant, when I said anything, I meant, I'd let you have a kiss. Feel my tits or something, you know? But not this.
You want me to clear those bodies?
See that you do.
Yeah, Rawls's vulgarity.
Oh, God.
I mean, you got to give
him and Landsman.
Yeah.
Blech. God, man, make me want to puke.
3 more inches of meat. How about a kiss? Feel my tits.
Gross, dude.
Jesus.
So gross. I mean, the thing is, when Freeman says, like, I don't want to go to the dance if I can't rub on some tit or whatever, like, it's just not as gross. I don't know
Really,
why,
yeah.
but it's not.
Well, it's not homoerotic.
It's
for
not
one thing.
homoerotic.
Yeah.
That's true. But still, it's just, ugh.
Yeah.
No, those
Nope.
two
Yeah.
are disgusting.
No, but yeah, I totally agree. Like, Daniel's putting Rawls in his place, and all he can say is, see that you do. It's like,
I know.
that was good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Diggins picks up a call for McNulty at the Marine unit. It's Daniels. McNulty's on the detail. Woohoo! And Carver gives Daniels their CI's information. This is where Daniels is like, $150.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, I don't know. It's it's how we get this information.
Yeah.
I am surprised that Carver is so willing to lie to Daniels after all of last season.
Pretty much,
yeah, exactly. Just getting out of being a traffic cop.
Yeah.
Thanks to Daniels.
Yeah.
It's a little dirty if you ask me, but
Oh, sure.
whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's looking at it, I'm sure, as like, oh, I'm just getting paid back for money I already spent.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. I mean, it's
lousy.
It's definitely
I
not
don't like
real. I'm trying to figure out how they are going to continue to get paid.
I know.
Because, okay, this guy like turned him on to one thing, but what's going to be the next thing? But
yeah,
it's not really important. I mean,
Right,
I figure
okay.
once you got,
Yes.
something, then, they'll just keep adding to it. Oh, well,
Right.
we learned about this, and then we learned about that,
Yep.
and, this, that, and the other thing.
Then more comic relief.
Yeah, plus that.
Okay, Bunk and Kima are explaining the other aspects of the case. 3 apartments on the 6th floor, all leased out to Pyramid Inc., who owns the drug warehouse, or the warehouse. We know there are drugs. And the building is nice, so they say it must be for the Johns, and that they must be coming in through the garage somehow. So this is kind of some background information for us for apparently what will happen later.
Yeah.
Okay, McNulty leaves the Marine unit. Diggins is sad to see him go. Let me see here. We get a recap again, now this time thanks to Rhonda. There's just so much going on, right?
Yeah.
So Rhonda recaps as number 1, okay, the people running the drugs and the people running the girls are the same crew. And number 2, the apartments in the condo are a cat house or brothel for the Russian girls. I had to look up what a cat house is. I'm so dumb.
Okay.
Couldn't even guess that.
Innocent
geez,
listener
Louise,
is
listen to me.
the word she's looking for.
They need someone in there undercover and her volunteers. No, they need somebody more subtle. Carver volunteers. Rhonda says he doesn't look ugly enough, basically, to need to pay. And it's so funny because they all look at her. It took me a little while to get it, but I think they're all looking at her like, why did you blow up his ego like that, right? Like, God, did you need to make him think that? Kima and Bunk can't go in because their wives kill them. And that's when McNulty walks in. And I think Kima says, takes a whore to catch a whore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yay, the timing is perfect.
Yeah, I mean, and I think you just tie it back to the fact that he took home a waitress from a greasy spoon.
Yes,
at the
yes.
beginning of the episode.
He's a whore.
Yep, pretty much so.
Kima and McNulty watch an SUV come out of the garage of the condo that they've been watching. Okay. At the same time, Beatty sees that they've got a container ship on the Telco line. It is the Cassia or Caspia? I can't remember.
Caspia.
Caspia. That horse is on, just like we had heard for them the previous day. And now they have the wire too. So yay. Back to Kima and McNulty, they follow the SUV to a gated parking lot. And out of the SUV comes this nice looking gentleman. He goes off to his car. He sits in the car for a bit. And McNulty and Kima are watching him. And McNulty says, well, he's sitting there for a while. And McNulty says, well, lying to your wife is easy. It's lying to your kids. That's the hard part. And Kima gives this side glance to McNulty.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That kind of side glance is just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Anyways, they stop his car before he can leave the parking lot. And it is Robert Johnson. And Mr. Johnson gives them the number for the ladies.
Yep.
And it's Connections is the service. There are 4 numbers. You've got to ask for Eve, who we assume is our madame that we've heard of, and then they let him go. Okay, so they've got a connection with connections now.
Yeah.
Shall I continue?
Yeah, I mean, I think not much.
All right,
not
let's
much
keep
other
going.
more complexity to it. But no, I wanted to make sure that people caught that. Go back and watch that side eye that Kima
That
gives
side, yes.
Jimmy. Yeah.
Yes, it is just like, oh God.
Yeah.
You are an unsavory person.
I mean, on the other hand, I think there's something, I don't know, kind of telling about McNulty, like admitting that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
for
he,
sure.
he knows
For sure.
that there's something really wrong about that, and that you have to fight through that guilty conscience kind of thing.
Yep.
You know, so
Takes one to know one.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, the next morning, Beatty watches the can disappear on the computer, and Kima's given the heads up. She's pretending to be the, whatever, maintenance person or something like that.
EG&E.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. The energy worker. Follows it to the gate. She sees Sergey give or get a call, and then Sergey connects the can to his truck, and Frank watches him leave. Carver and Herc at that point take over, and in the meantime, Frank sees that the Port Authority police are checking a broken custom seal on a can, and the guys tell him, oh, it looks like that one had diapers. Frank asks them when Beatty will come back from Fairfield, and they tell her she's not at Fairfield.
Yeah.
She's on some detail with the city police, which is counter to what Beatty told Frank the last episode. So now more and more and more is just piling on that does not make sense for Frank, right? He is saying this shit's not making sense. It's not good.
Yeah, I mean, and it's interesting how his instinct to ask about her was kind of interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, part of that is because he wants to jump her bones.
Okay.
He does.
No, not in evidence, but
That's true.
True. Oh, but it's true. Okay, you're convinced of it. Okay.
I am.
By the way, I forgot to mention last time when Beatty talked about Fairfield. So in the Port of Baltimore, Patapsco is on kind of the point, and it's like north and east. And then Fairfield is like you have to cross one of the bridges. I forget which one.
Okay.
And so it's all the way basically across the shipping channel or the canal, I should say. And so that's why it's a kind of a safe place to say, because if he was at North Point and Patapsco, you might see guys going back and forth between those two, but going down to Fairfield is a whole separate thing. Although interestingly, that's where the chemicals that Nick was getting.
Okay. Yes, exactly. We're from Fairfield.
Exactly. And so
I'm looking at a map of Baltimore.
Oh,
right
there you
now
go. Okay, cool.
See what you're talking about.
Yeah, we'll have to add that to our social. But
Yes,
anyway,
we
so
should.
I was something I forgot to mention last time. So there you go. Yeah.
I see. All right. Well, let's see here. Oh,
Sorry, I threw you all off.
No, it's okay because I looked at the
now
map,
you need a
and now I
map
don't
to find out where you were in the story.
Okay. Frank is talking to Horse, and he's thinking about the phone thing, and now about Beatty lying to him. And Frank tells him the other can that's supposed to go to the Greek, to take that one and to enter that can in the computer and to lose the next one instead. And Horse is like, why do you want to do that? And Frank says, if I'm right, they'll thank me. And then Beatty sees the other one disappear. Herc and Carver have followed the first can. They don't have anyone to follow the second can. So McNulty says he'll do it, but he needs time to get to it. So Beatty calls the Port Authority and asks them to delay it a bit. And the way they delay it is that Sergey gets pulled over for doing 24 out of 20.
Yeah.
Jimmy ends up getting there in time, but Frank sees that Sergey's been stopped. He looks like he's going to call someone, but decides not to. And McNulty follows it. And there is a little moment between McNulty and Beatty where the, good call, and touches her back a little bit. And you cute girl. Yeah. Yeah, saw that.
He's a whore.
Anyways, Frank calls Spiros, and Freeman and Prez pick it up. Frank tells him it's the wrong can on purpose, and this time he needs to talk to the Greek.
Yep.
Now, the can goes. Gleekus is there. He's getting he's in the store. He's annoyed with one of his workers. And then he goes to the back. Sergey opens the truck, and they see that it's full of Bobby dolls, not Barbie dolls, Bobby dolls and curtain rods. It's not what he wanted. Should be Russian vodka. And Gleekus calls Spiros. the same person Frank called. Uh-oh. And Spiro says he was expecting this and tells him to get rid of it. And now Freeman and Prez know who the boss man is. So more layers, more evidence. Bodhi is putting together. Oh, sorry. Oh, shoot. That is. Oh, God, that's in the wrong spot. Sorry. I copied that note and put it in the wrong spot. Okay. McNulty watches them dump the can, and Daniel says, "Come on back, McNulty." And let's see here. McNulty wants to know why he was taken off the can, and they tell him they found out it was clean thanks to the wire and that they got the boss man number 2. McNulty wants to go get a drink afterwards. Freeman declines, but Beatty says yes if she gets a ride home. And they're at the bar talking about their kids, Beatty's husband who left because he didn't like her job. But that's kind of interesting too, because like Elena didn't like McNulty's job.
Yes,
anyways,
exactly. That's right.
Beatty asks about Jimmy's wife. McNulty makes a point of making sure Gus, the bartender, knows he doesn't need another today.
Right,
No, I'm fine.
Whatever you say, Jimmy.
Yep. He then, from the payphone at the restaurant, he calls the Madam Eve with his code and asks to be connected in a couple nights. And she asks, what kind of girl do you like or are you looking for? And then he's looking at Beatty the whole time that's going on. Ooh, it's getting a little steamy here. McNulty is now at Beatty's house, and it does look like a single mom and 2 kids live there. Whoever put that bit of scenery together did a great job.
Yeah, right.
McNulty looks at the traces of her life, family photos, bills to pay, toys everywhere. And you can see he's like reflecting on that. And he gets up, he puts on his jacket. Just then she comes out and, he smiles and says, "Long day." She smiles. "Yeah, me too." And it's very sweet. Like, it's a moment where I'm like, holy crap, Jimmy, you just evolved a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Like, he's not going to be a whore with her. He's not going to treat her like he's treated some of the others. And I think too, like, as somebody who's thinking about what he did to Elena, like, he doesn't want to do that to somebody else or make somebody else's life more complicated.
So I was trying to figure out like what the thought process was. So he sits down on the couch and, so he
kind of goes around and he like kind of looks at the calendar and there's a little toy there and stuff like that. And I don't know. It's just like, this evidence of the life that she has and how complicated things must be for her already. And
I mean, well, first of all, the phrase that's ringing in my ears in that is Bunk saying that he's a postcard of a self-destructive fuck up. Right. But when he's on a good case, same guy, but that's as close as he gets to being right. And so of course, like, that's the difference between at the beginning of the episode when he meets the waitress, and this where he's like, oh my God, what am I doing here?
Right.
Like, I've got to get out of here.
Good point.
And so, and I was just trying to figure out, like, I don't know. I'm still like a little surprised. Like, was she expecting?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, I think so. And it's a prediction. It will happen eventually.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Right.
It's going to happen.
Write that down.
I'm not saying next episode, but just eventually.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, will happen eventually.
Yep.
Okay. And, but so I guess I'm just surprised. I'm surprised from her perspective, right? Like, I don't know. Beatty, I mean, just
I know.
Seems maybe, but, maybe she's lonely.
Yeah, but she hooked up with Maui.
Sure. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, I'm not saying she has to be a nun, but,
right.
You just met this guy.
I know. It's true.
Meanwhile, Herc, she turned him down just without any,
with good reason.
I mean, sure.
Good cause. Yeah. She had her spidey senses.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, okay, fair enough. And, you watch that again, and like to watch her come out and she kind of stops, and she's kind of, I think, a little taken off guard that he's like packing up already.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, okay. All right, we'll get together eventually, though. Okay.
Yes, I am saying so. Okay, Frank and Nick are at the Greek diner now, and, the Greek's not there. Spiros does his all, you can talk to me, Frank thing, but Frank's not having it, and when he just about walks out, that's when the Greek comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And Frank gives him the 411, what we know about the phone, about Beatty, and about the can being stopped by the MPA. And Spiro says, he closed the warehouse just to be safe. But the Greek says, we got to open it up and lose a few more clean cans. The Greek has a really, his voice is so small and soft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that he's like a villain and he has that voice.
Yep.
Nicky says, our cut stays the same, right? And the Greek says, hey, no work, no pay. We all got to suffer a little bit. Frank, though, says he needs this money now because of what is happening with his union, and he says it quite firmly.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Greek says, okay, I'll pay. I'm thinking of all the business we do in the future.
Yeah.
And then he encourages Frank to spend some money on himself, and Frank just looks at him like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, everything that I'm doing is for other people right now.
Yeah.
I'm not spending this money on myself. It is such a weird... It's such a weird thing to have, right there at that. I mean, I guess it's not, but it just seems like such a weird thing for the Greek to say. I wonder why the Greek says it.
I think someone's got a line into our computer.
Very smart.
As soon as you called, I shut down the warehouse.
That's fine. But now we're going to have to open the warehouse up again. Lose a few more clean cans, deliver them there. If someone's watching, show them we've nothing to hide.
Our cut stays the same, though, right? You kidding?
What's your name?
Nick.
Sabaka.
Oh. Well, that's a fair question, Nico. But it has to be the same for everyone. No work, no pay.
Doesn't matter what's in the cans. We still gotta check them through. That's work, isn't it? We take gas. So do you.
You don't understand.
I understand completely. No one is in this for love.
It ain't just the money. I got things happening right now. Things with my union. Right now. Not a fucking month from now. When the legislative session is history. Now!
Okay. We pay you still. I'm thinking of all the business we do in the future. And I want you should be happy.
Thanks.
It's a new world, Frank. You should go out and spend some of the money on something you can touch. A new car, a new coat. It's why we get up in the morning,
What do you think? I mean,
I guess maybe just because he wants... If Frank becomes more selfish, becomes more, needy, he'll be more willing to take these risks that the Greek wants him to take. I don't know.
My read on it is, I feel like the Greek is probably looking ahead, and I think he probably realizes that the union is dying.
Yeah.
And so Frank pouring all this money into a dying enterprise, it's just going to all go, by the wayside. On the other hand, the Greek, and I'll give Alan Sepinwall credit here, he's like, the Greek is pure capitalism. Mm-hmm. He is just, and Vonda says the same thing, buy for a nickel, sell for a dime.
Right.
And so for him, it's just all capitalism. He doesn't think about, that he would not care about anybody else outside of his very, very small circle of people.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to contribute to broader, efforts or anything like that. He just wants to make as much money as possible. And I mean, it is kind of funny how he's, spends his time at this rundown diner. It's like, can't you make it a nicer place on the inside or something like that? But on the other hand, so what's all that money for if you're going to spend all your hours on this, in this kind of crappy place? But nevertheless, I feel like it's just he just knows that Frank is not going to be able to hold on to this forever. So you might as well have something that you can physically touch and, actually hold on to, I guess is how I'm that's my read on it.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'll take it.
We're both, it's just, we're just speculating. So.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody really knows except for Chris because, he's watched this thing.
I mean, you would think I know, but I'm still guessing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it. That's the whole episode. Wham bam.
Yeah. Well, and so what did you think of that last shot of the camera on the Greek at the very end? Like, what'd you think about that?
Oh, I think that's a little bit of the Greek is the one who's really in control.
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the one that's in charge,
Yeah.
and that's why they leave the camera on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely feels ominous. And I feel like he's just kind of, in that moment, he's like, okay, so what are my plays from here?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That wraps it up. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, so with that, let us move on to a couple of categories. So first wanted to talk about the music. So we are introduced, I can't remember. I don't think that the Pogues have been introduced to us yet in the show.
Oh, is that what McNulty's listening to?
Exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
And so the song is called Transmetropolitan, which I don't know exactly if that's a reference to anything, but in any case, but the Pogues are one of David Simon's favorite bands, so that gets and they will come back at a later date. But otherwise, there wasn't really a ton of music. But I thought that it was important to call out the Pogues. Okay. The killer cameo. Who do you have anybody on this?
Is Fuzzy Dunlop coming back?
He is not.
Okay,
and
that's my
pick.
That
is, and in fact, I was able to get his name. His name is Billy Finnegan.
Billy Finnegan.
He probably was in about a dozen TV shows, but just couldn't get.
Oh, is that right?
Onto anything consistently. So he was in. I skipped through an episode of Justified. He was great in that particular episode, but he only had like 7 lines.
Oh, is that right?
So,
okay.
And he got his butt kicked in it.
Oh, that's sad.
Hey, he's an actor, so he was taking it. So. But yeah, of course, he was just great. So I just love that.
Awesome.
His like 10%. And, he just wouldn't budge. So good. I just love that. Okay. But of course, then that gets us to the most important, which is the Mr. Nugget life lesson.
Mr. Nugget.
So, do you have anything for this?
Oh, look at that. I don't know that I do.
Okay.
I mean, don't wear sweats to work. I don't care where you are. Like,
good one.
It's just not a good idea.
Okay.
It's just not a good idea. Jeans, okay. You can pull that off on a casual Friday, but sweats just never going to look like they're right for work.
Oh, boy. I wear jeans to work every day.
No, I said jeans is okay. Well, okay.
You said...
I think it depends on your work environment, but would sweats be okay at your work?
Definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, some people wear them, and I'm always embarrassed for them, but...
Damn, yo.
That
would never have flown.
I mean, it just reminds us of that other life lesson. Look the part, be the part, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So, yeah.
Yep.
No, I agree with you. I mean, wearing sweats. I mean, I don't care where you're working.
Yeah.
You really gotta
it's a little
not
too
care.
comfortable.
Yeah. So I had a few.
Okay.
Apparently, as I mentioned, Graveyard Shift at a Diner is a good place to pick up women.
Right.
Probably men too.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
maybe.
So just Graveyard Shift at a Diner.
Yep.
If you're feeling lonely,
Yeah, you just want to fry cook for the night.
Exactly. Nothing wrong with feeling lonely. So go and enjoy yourself. And then I think the one you said, like, you can be the punching bag for you can but if you can own it, but if you keep doing it, if that becomes your standard practice, and people will treat you that way. But that's not but I actually took the side eye lesson as the important one. Looking your kid in the eye is the hard part. It's that line of ethics is what we do when nobody's watching, right? I mean, so even though Robert Johnson, his wife doesn't know, his family doesn't know, but he, of course, like, now has to live with this. So, you might think you're getting away with it,
right?
But you at some point,
is it worth it to live with that?
Exactly, and yes, you of course have to live with it, right? I mean, your kid's not going to know,
right?
But you are going to know that you're lying to your kid, and so that's just the thing, is it like, make sure, hey, if nobody's looking, make sure you're still doing what you normally do if everybody's looking, especially, or if your kid was looking. So
yes,
that was it's just always a good reminder. And it really applies to anything. It's not just infidelity, of course, which you shouldn't do, but that's it. I think we talked about this before. Like, when you're at work and you're just kind of like goofing off, like, would I want to tell my kid that I was goofing off at work all day? No, I would feel really embarrassed about that. Or I would tell him I would, but then I know that I am lying.
Yeah,
and
you're lacking integrity.
Kid. Exactly. So there you go. All right, so friends, so don't be a Robert Johnson. Be a something, Kina.
Exactly.
Okay, so that gets us to the end. And so now we have our predictions. So, I'm sorry. No, this is the...
Okay.
I did want to return to how well did the episode hold up? So the reason I wanted to ask about this is because I was reminded the Vanderwall judge thing. Have you heard the idea that punishments in court are harsher as it gets closer to lunchtime?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. And it's I think it's actually fairly well established now. And it's like as the judges get hungrier and hungrier, they will dole out harsher, which seems insane.
That does.
But it's like something that you can actually see. And it just seems like, you might have a judge. It's like, yeah, I'll sign whatever you want. Just wash my windows. I mean, who the hell is it going to, who's going to report that? It seems, so that part I felt like, yeah, probably does hold up pretty well.
Interesting. So, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But damn.
And then I think also like, why don't they fly away? I feel like a lot of people, even today, feel trapped in their situation, but they also don't see how to get out.
Yes.
Like at some point they feel like
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it's sad. And I wish that there was some easier way to allow people to move back and forth or, get out of their whatever. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so that's yeah. So
still plenty of Bobby dolls getting sent to the wrong place, and
exactly. Bobby dolls, just classic. Okay, all right. Well, let's get on. Oh, yeah, and I got that one already. So move on from there. Okay, so let us get your predictions.
All right.
Let's see. Just make sure we got it all. So now Frank is all right. Let's start with Frank. What do you think is going to happen?
Let's see here. Gosh, I'm not sure because Frank has wisened up, but he doesn't realize that. Well, he doesn't realize the extent of that. He knows that his phone is not being cut, but he'll figure out that he's being tapped.
Okay.
And he'll be smart about that.
Okay.
But there still will be another tap they don't know about.
So then the Greeks, like, what's their response, you think?
I don't know, man. I don't have anything for that one. Sorry.
All right, no problem.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. So then the detail, I mean, yeah, but you got the BD and McNulty one already.
Yep.
Or written down anyway. And then let's see what else. I mean, they're all intertwined now, so I guess it's really just
so
like
I'm wondering, I don't know if McNulty's going to have his rendezvous in the next episode or if that'll take 2 more episodes or not.
Sorry.
Well, because he set up a meeting with one of the girls from Connections.
Okay. With Connections, all right.
Yeah,
cool.
but I don't have anything more for what I think is going to come from that.
Okay.
Maybe he gets some information from the girl, and we'll get a look at the madam that we've been hearing about.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ziggy is going to do something really rash, really bad choice.
Yep. Yeah, you called that one out before.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to, I'm mentioning that now because
I keep thinking the really bad thing is going to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. But I just feel like he's going to do something super duper stupid.
Okay. And the only reason I mentioned that is because you mentioned, I think maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago. And you still see it happening. So if it does happen, you called it not just this episode, but previously as well. So you saw it coming.
That is still on the docket.
Okay.
Okay. Good. As far as the death grip and this situation, this is not going to work. This whole trying to reclaim the corner with a product that is not good. I feel like maybe there's going to be like a revolt or a riot at the projects or something like that. Like it's going to go way more south.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's 5. So I'll let you off the hook there.
Okay.
So, but also very detailed. So good job. Good stuff.
Well, we'll see.
It'll
be totally detailed in the wrong direction.
Okay. Well, that gets us to the end. So,
yay!
All right. All right. So we will be back next week to cover season 2, episode 9, Stray Rounds. So yeah, we're off the
Stray Rounds.
We're off the what's called the nautical theme.
Yeah.
Pretty far at least right now. So, but nevertheless. And where did Duck and Cover? Did that come? Did that do anything?
Duck.
Oh right. Oh my God.
The duck. And Cover. I don't know.
Interesting.
McNulty is going undercover in the brothel.
Well, right.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's interesting. I know. See?
Yeah.
I got to rethink this because I was just like, like duck and cover. You get under the desk and,
right. I know. That's what I thought at first, too.
Yeah.
But then I was like, there's a duck in the episode.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, I'm going to think about that a little bit more. But Doug, now I'm all thrown off. So there's no saving me from the end of this episode. So, okay. We'll be back next week. Thank you, listener. Thank you, Ellie, as always.
My pleasure.
All right. And we will see you all next week.
Okay. Bye.
The Wired and Rewired podcast is Ellie Peterson and me, Chris Aronchek. Our theme song is Nice Vibes by Neon Beach. Want to holler at us? You can email us at wiredandrewired@gmail.com or hit us on the burner at 240-488-0060 to leave us a voicemail. We're Wired and Rewired on all the socials. And of course, if you like the show, please give us a rating and review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. It helps other Wire fans discover the show. And until next time.
Oh man, you better go on before I lose my composure out this bitch.